poverty. Poverty is an important issue for developing countries, as is Indonesia. Tackling poverty must be understood as a problem. The world, so it must be handled in a global context. In the SDGs declared no poverty, without poverty, as the first point of priority. This means that the world agrees to eliminate poverty in any form. No exception with Indonesia. BPS data noted that the percentage of the poor population in March 2021 amounted to 10.14%, decreased by 0.05 percentage points against September 2020 and increased by 0.36 percentage points against March 2020. The largest percentage of poor people are in the Maluku Island and Papua, which is 20.66%. Meanwhile, the lowest percentage of poor people is on the island of Kalimantan, which is 6.09%. In terms of numbers, most of the poor population is still in Java, 14.75 million people, while the lowest number of poor people is on the island of Kalimantan, 1.01 million people. Factors affecting the poverty rate during the period September 2020 to March include: ongoing COVID-19 pandemic has an impact on behavior and activity changes, the economy of the population thus affecting the poverty rate. Indonesia's economy in the first quarter of 2021 to the first quarter of 2020 contracted growth by 0.74% Y-on-Y. Household consumption expenditure in the first quarter of 2021 contracted by 2.23% Y-on-Y, decreasing compared to the same period in 2020, which grew by 2.83%. During the period September 2020 to March 2021, the general inflation rate was recorded at 1.24%. Meanwhile, the core inflation figure in the same period was recorded at 0.37%. In February 2021, the percentage of workers was half unemployed at 8.71%. There was a decrease of 1.48 percentage points compared to August 2020, which was 10.19%, but this figure increased when compared to February 2020, which was 6.34%. In February 2021, 78.14 million people, 59.62%, worked in informal activities, an increase compared to August 2020, which amounted to 77.68 million people. One of the successes of this SDGs program is the contribution of business actors, especially during the COVID-19 pandemic. Because the COVID-19 pandemic has a huge impact on the economy of the Indonesian population. Of the working age population of 205.36 million people, the percentage of working age residents affected by COVID-19 is 9.30%. Unemployed people who have stopped working because of COVID-19 since February 2020, as many as 1.62 million people. Working age residents who fall into the category of non-labor force and have stopped working due to COVID-19 since February 2020, as many as 0.65 million people. The population works, but because COVID-19 becomes temporarily out of work, as many as 1.11 million people. Residents who work but with a reduction in work, shorter hours, due to COVID-19, as much as 15.72%. In this case, business actors will absorb the working age population during the COVID-19 pandemic and so on, so that it will reduce the unemployment rate in Indonesia, and the SDGs goal at the first point of no poverty will be achieved gradually, through eradicating poverty by reducing the unemployment rate. Group 82 KKN-BBM 64 UNIVERSITAS AIRLANGGA has provided creative content on how to build a business in the time of the COVID-19 pandemic that has been uploaded in the KKN YouTube channel. Interview with Difandi Wahyu Habiter Roman as the owner of Mapocket, a contemporary F&B drink located in Sidoarjo. Discussing the reasons for the owner starting a business in the pandemic period, the difficulties faced at the beginning of building the business, What are the challenges encountered after the business runs? Business concepts applied in the face of pandemic challenges, and advice from owners for those who want to start a business in the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to providing creative content how to build a business during the COVID-19 pandemic, Group 82 KKN-BBM 64 UNIVERSITAS AIRLANGGA also provides creative content to survive the business during the COVID-19 pandemic, with Muliha's mother as the owner of Mi Sidin Mak Leho located in Surabaya. Discuss the state of business during the pandemic, the challenges faced during the pandemic, strategies applied to businesses in overcoming challenges during the pandemic, how to adapt businesses during the COVID-19 pandemic, and tips and tricks to maintain business during the COVID-19 pandemic. 2 videos about business, build and survive business during the COVID-19 pandemic, aims to provide examples, share experiences, and provide motivation for people affected by COVID-19 to rise to improve the economy through business to reduce unemployment in Indonesia in order to achieve the SDGs goal of No Poverty.